This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It is the AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Right here on the tracks. There it is. There's a creepy van outside. Look at that. But anyways, we are full AwesomeCast this week. First of all, of course, from Studio C and Big D of Dormont, PA, right down the tracks a bit is John Chichilla. Sir.
Right down the tracks. I would, one of these days I'll make it back into the studio.
I was going to make a joke about the wrong side of the tracks, but I literally cross the tracks every day to get to work. But they're also right here. So, you know how that goes. So how are you doing today, Chilla?
In pretty good. In Dormont, it's what side of West Liberty do you live on? You either live on the park side, which is the side that the park's on, or you live on the non-park side, which is the side that the park isn't on. So that's how we describe things around these parts.
Sure. Dormont geography with Chilla. Also back with us, and amazingly, a day after her the final surgery for her breast cancer treatments, the Dudders is with us.
Hi. Yeah, I had my last reconstruction surgery yesterday afternoon, and here I am.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you feel more balanced now?
Yes, much more balanced, more buoyant. I don't know.
More buoyant?
My face is a little red from the tape. From when they intubate you for surgery. I was like, oh, and it just keeps coming out as the day goes on. So that's why my face is all red. I was like, oh, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And I did get a haircut earlier just for you.
There you go. All spiffied out for the show. I love it. Thank you so much. And this is also probably going to be your final appearance on the show for the year too.
No, aren't I making an appearance on a special edition?
Oh yeah. Okay. Live edition, at least for your last appearance. Live edition. There will be pre-surgery you on some videos coming up. So stay tuned for those.
Yes.
So I guess we could say you sat down with Mad Mike of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and because both of you visited Disney World in the last couple of months, so we talked about the awesome of Disney World until the power went out in his home in New York. At least that we just carried the show with Katie. So and that'll be coming out. I think I want to put that. That's probably going to be the week before Christmas. We'll be putting the Disney one out, and then we got another one we just got in the can for the week after that. So looking forward to that. And just a heads up, Katie, I think we're a little bit delayed for some reason today, more than usual. So just bear that in mind as we're going back and forth with our conversation. Just keep yelling at us if you want to break in on something, okay? So I think we just and now
Sounds
we know.
good. How about I leave and come back?
There you go.
I think I'm seeing them delayed too.
You're seeing me delayed?
Oh, yep.
Uh-oh.
You're like.
Well, that is interesting. This must be a Zoom thing tonight.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we'll work with it. We'll give a lot. I will give a lot of space for you guys to talk here tonight. So must be some Zoom issues going. There was a lot of services down today, so I'm wondering if Zoom might be affected by it too. So there's that. Well, in the meantime, don't worry. I got this part. You guys can check out everything at awesomecast.com if it's back up. We had a little bit of an issue, so we might just be forwarding that to our Fireside account very shortly. I either broke WordPress or it has something I was updating and it had something to do with AWS going down today. I'm not sure entirely. But eventually you can go to awesomecast.com and say at awesomecast.sorgatronmedia.com. That should still work. Tweet us at awesomecast and, of course, the Facebook page and group. And we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Basically anywhere we can think of, you can find AwesomeCast that we can stream from Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And we got the chat rooms up. So if you guys want to hop in on any of those kinds of things and be a part of this conversation, we would appreciate it and help. Oh, there it is. I pulled it up. I'm in the chat room. Say what's up to Dave Potter hanging out there. Also, we do have an AwesomeCast Discord and Reddit. Reddit you can go find with a quick search and join that. We're dropping some stories in there throughout the week. And the Discord, again, same thing. And just so you have some alternatives, if you're not Facebooking or whatever the case may be, you don't like to be on one of the other things, you're into Discord or want to try it out. When we get the website back up, the Discord link is over there on awesomecast.com, or will be shortly. And also, shouts to our friends at postindustrial.com that have been sharing this. And make sure you do subscribe, and please rate the podcast on your favorite podcast catcher. That does help get it in front of some more people. And thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast. You guys have been getting a bit more content lately. We've been doing some more videos before, after the show, and some other additional things. If you want to find out what went wrong when we were about 45 minutes late starting the show last week, we have a little bit of video talking about that. It was a little bit of me just venting. But thank you to our Patreon supporters, our friends at the Coffee Club, $5 level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Clausey, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound. And at our fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Potter. You guys can support the show too, get some extra content, and support us and keep this show rolling at patreon.com/awesomecast. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. First, let's get into guys. Let me get started. I know I brought up before Mr. Beast. I really went down the rabbit hole this week. I've tried Mr. Beast Burger a couple of times because I get popped up on Grubhub. There was, I think we found the drive-through where they were just giving out money or something like that. And I found an interview, and I'll see if I can pull it up here over on YouTube.
Wait, you found the actual drive-through?
No. I found an interview. That really kind of got me kind of more thinking about it. And this is on another YouTube channel that I'll get the name here in just a moment. But this is a channel, Colin and Samir. You can check that out over there. And they have a long, and they say it's the longest interview they put out. It is the full, hour and 55-minute interview. I think I listened to most of this when I was on my travels over the weekend, and it talks about how he got there, and this is the one I think everybody's seen by now. The Squid Game YouTube video where they did real life Squid Game without the killing. So again, it's a YouTube channel where this guy has built up this kind of empire. They're basically doing game shows at this point, and I'm discovering I really kind of like them because it's just kind of like everybody's getting money and it's really nice and everything like that, but also like they're interesting and they're shot and edited in a way that I like. I can't watch. I love the idea of the Frogger competition show that's on Peacock, but same thing when American Gladiators came back, this whole reality TV editing style, I can't deal with. You know what I mean? But this Mr. Beast one is like it's like this fast like hit YouTube style, but just with a giant blown up budget. They're building giant sets. If you look at the behind the scenes of the Squid Game video, like they had a whole production team like move into their area, and he's in like I think South Carolina, right? And he owns buildings. This interview that I'm showing over here, that's in like a $10 million big studio space, and because they build everything. There's a very interesting model of he was just a kid that started a YouTube channel and obsessed over how do you make better videos, and keep saying his mission is to make better videos on YouTube. How do you make better YouTube videos and maximize that potential there? And he has so many spin-offs for this. He has a fundraising, he has a charity that gives to food banks, and that is a food bank basically, more or less. And I think it's cool because it's like there's the game shows and everything, but like, you know, I think everybody, you know, watching the you know, one of those keep your hand on the Lamborghini contest they did, and they did such wacky stuff with it, and like everybody walked away with at least $1,000, if not more. You know, not a $300,000 Lamborghini, and it's bonkers. And yeah, nobody can do it, but also and all the money they're bringing in is either going to the charity or into making all the other videos that are like sometimes $1 million or more videos to put out that are just 20 minutes, and they put it out and it gets, 40 million, something for 20, everything like a minimum of 20 million views on YouTube. And it's really kind of an incredible story. And I'd love to hear more about. It's one of those like that's a cool story, and we have that 10-year overnight successes. I'd love to hear, and I see they do advertise a documentary that's on the Curiosity stream channel. But I'd love to hear a little bit about more of the trials of getting there, because they talk about they're like, yeah, we almost run out of money like all the time because we spend it all on the videos, right? Supposedly he lives very modestly, and he's just like, hey, he just loves giving that away. He'll rent out. There's one where he's had an FBI agent with a team of his people, and a bounty hunter with a team of people, and they're just regular people. Try to find him to get the money, and in the one process, he had rented like a stadium, a jet, a private island, a boat, and to keep getting away from them. And it's ridiculous and over top and a lot of fun. I'm watching a lot of these videos right now. Sometimes it does feel a little like, hey, here's some money. Like there's a lot of like there's a little bit of over game showmanship. But when you start seeing what he's doing with some of the other money and actually doing some really good things with it, like it really kind of gets kind of interesting, and especially when you start talking about his philosophies and everything. So I don't know. It feels like this guy's kind of everywhere. Maybe it's just because that's what my algorithm's doing since I'm starting to look at this stuff. But I keep going from like his video to video about his videos, and it's this weird rabbit hole that keeps going on. He is basically his own industry at this point. So.
I would highly recommend checking out the one where he spends 24 hours in like a luxury doomsday bunker. If you haven't seen that one,
I haven't seen that. I keep the one about him being buried alive for 50 hours keeps popping up on my feed, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that one. But yeah, that could be a fun one.
I haven't watched that one.
So the Squid Game one, if you haven't, if you watch Squid Game especially, who was it? Our friend Matt over on Wrestling Mayhem Show, actually, I think he was asking me if his son should watch Squid Game, and we were like, absolutely not. But I was like, actually have him watch this version of it, right? So, but it really is kind of incredible, and this is absolutely an atypical situation. But even from that, I mean, I have not listened to somebody who worked in, built a business that at the same time excited and baffled me since like Gary Vee. So that to learn things from, and I'm taking a lot of points. Again, I don't know. I'm in that mindset of kind of upgrading things for 2022, so it's kind of helping me. I'm not gonna dump $1 million into the video yet, but still kind of that mindset still kind of is interesting. So have you've been diving just a little bit into this, like here and there? I mean, it's almost unavoidable if you're on YouTube.
So Mr. Beast is like one of Christopher's favorite channels to watch.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's on a lot. I mean, it's on, I would say, like as much as a lot of the Minecraft shows. It's one of his shows that if it comes up in the algorithm, he usually watches. The interesting thing is he usually watches the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas usually partway through like a Minecraft video or whatnot. The other big one is, I think it's Creecraft, who makes Piggy. He watches that a lot. So I don't know, it's one of the only what I would consider like non-gamer streamers that he watches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's on a lot.
He's really big about that philosophy.
And we actually, when I told him we when I told him we could get the Mr. Beast burger during the Christmas holiday, he was super excited.
Yeah, and it's not that bad too. So it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna be in my pocket when I'm traveling and say, oh, there's Mr. Beast. We're gonna get that one on Grubhub. It's just easy fast food stuff that isn't as crappy as fast food, it seems. So, Katie, have you been? I can't remember what we talked about before. Have you been up on the Mr. Beast phenomenon?
No, I have not. Just what I've talked to you about.
Yeah.
Well,
check out this interview. I think I've dumped it in a couple of our Slacks or Discords or something like that. I think you'd get a lot of kind of thoughts out of this too.
nice.
So check that out. I'd say check those out. I have the long video, and I'm sorry, I put YouTube videos in here without labeling them, I guess. There's been a couple documentary kind of things on them. Yep, no, it's very loud. My volume's on that. It's just really kind of, I don't know. I watched like 4 videos last night while I was editing podcast, so it's pretty bad. So. From that, let's settle it down, and what keeps me awake to watch all these YouTube videos and edit. Katie, what do you got over there for your awesome thing?
I have a MicroLite JavaPress. Ta-da! It's a French press for camping and just on the road, whatever. Comes in like, you got 3 pieces here. Your lid, your insides. So you put your coffee or your tea in here first, then you dump your hot water in, give it a little stir, wait like 4 or so minutes, depending how strong you want it. Then you take this inside part, you just push it on in, boop. And then it's got the strainer at the bottom. Sorry, I should have showed that. Strainer at the bottom, push the strainer down in, and you screw the lid on, and you've got fresh tea, French press coffee or tea. And it keeps things hot for 3.5 hours or cold for 6.5, and it won't leak, and it's all, so you can just toss it in your bag. It's a really nice top on it, so you won't make a mess in your bag.
Oh, good.
Hanging off your.
I still wouldn't trust it, especially since my bag usually has computers in it. Go ahead, Chilla.
Yeah. Who makes it?
GSI Outdoors. And I saw it's on a few different websites. It's on their site for $34.95, and then I think it was on RAI for a little bit cheaper. But it comes in a few different colors too. Mine is blue.
Yep, blue, black, white, and tan. I suppose.
Yeah, it's like a weird, not quite a green, but not quite a tan. Like, what is this color? I guess it's tan.
It's that color you see a lot in Cabela's, right? So,
yeah.
No, that's cool. So $35.
Like a khaki?
Yeah, like khaki. A little bit of khaki, I guess.
Khaki.
Sand.
I found them on. There's 5 colors and patterns.
Ooh, patterns.
It's even more than this.
Ooh.
Excellent. So go check that out. We'll have the link over in there. That might be something handy.
One last question: how many ounces does it hold?
Let's see, 14.3.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, its capacity is 18, but it looks like it's like 14.3 is the actual what you got. Good. If you're looking for a holiday gift for somebody who likes to take their coffee on the road or their tea on the road, this might be a good thing.
Good. I'm gonna check that out.
Not that we know anybody like that.
No. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been drinking coffee all day straight. I
can only find like a 6-ounce one.
Really? Well, we will have the link here for you, so you can get the one straight from the source. Chilla, what is your awesome thing of the week? You got two. You doubled it up.
I have one quick one. I have 2. I'm gonna make the first one quick. So Christmas time, we always wanted to have a fireplace. We don't actually have a fireplace. For the longest time, we would plug a computer in, plug an iPad in, and play like a YouTube channel with flames on loop. and then we would have Christmas music going in the background. Then we actually got like an electric fireplace that you hang on the wall that looks pretty good. But there is actually, and I didn't know about this, there is an app called the Fireplace Channel. It's a 99 cents.
Oh.
So, you know, if you've already bought the Apple TV, it's not overly expensive. It does have a number of scenes that come with it. Technically, there's in-app purchases for additional scenes, but those in-app purchases are a handy $0. And it's been that way since 2015. So as the author of the one article that I posted put in there, they don't expect it to change anytime soon. It doesn't come with any music or music capability, so you can just play audio out of the Apple Music or Spotify app on your Apple TV. And if you're not if 99 cents is too pricey, there's a couple playlists there that have actually multiple hours of Christmas music with either fireplace or a fireplace type scene in the house. Thought it was pretty nice. I liked it. I'll be using this year as a third and fourth fireplace around the house.
So again, tell me,
but
why would I want to do this instead of the Netflix fireplace that always pops up?
I've never used a Netflix fireplace.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
But with Netflix, I'm interested in trying it out. With Netflix, how do you pick your own music, or is it?
No. They just have.
Netflix is going to force the audio channel, right?
Yeah. It's going to be like Netflix. They're basically baked in. You know, they have videos on there that'll be in. Let me see if I can sign into. I want to sign into Netflix real quick.
See, I always wanted to pick my own music to go with the fire.
Well, I suppose if you want that, I guess that's
so. Even when we used to do it, I did use the YouTube stuff, but actually muted it, and then put my own music on in the background.
Interesting. You know, I don't know, because I haven't seen them pop up yet on. No, there they are. So if you look over on Netflix, there are about 3 different. Well, let me zoom in here. There are about 3 different in here. I love that it's fireplace for your home, fireplace for your home, Birchwood edition, fireplace for your home. What is that? What does that say? Classic. Oh, classic edition, and then looks like Bright starring Will Smith is next. So, I mean, it's not a lot of variety. I mean, yeah, they have exactly 3 varieties. So I guess.
What did you search for?
Just fireplace on Netflix.
Okay.
So it's always throw up that and that Bill Murray movie from a few years ago where they're snowed in at a hotel or something up in New York. No, and plus there's like I don't know how many are probably on YouTube too. So, but you have a second thing of the week, and this is good because next week will be our awesome things of the year. So get them in now.
Thanks. So this is more of a PSA, and with the new Apple iOS update, you will be able to scan for AirTags in your vicinity that aren't necessarily yours. They are finding in Canada where people are tucking AirTags onto costly vehicles in very public settings, and then using that AirTag to trace that vehicle to one's house, and then waiting for people to leave and then coming and taking the car. I'm sure this isn't something Apple's probably going to upplay, but it is one of the things to think about as an AirTag owner. The things can definitely be used for I don't know what you would call it, wrongdoings.
So, and this is something that Apple has kind of guarded against too.
Pardon me?
Those are something that Apple has kind of guarded against too. Again, apologize for the Zoom lag this evening. I don't know what's going on. Everything's the same as it usually is. So, we got plenty of internets over here. Trust me. But anyways, But no, I think that's something we guard against, right? You know, where it says, hey, there's a maybe they do it in short enough span that doesn't kick in about, hey, there's a AirTag with you. Is that what you think is happening, Chilla?
Or is it just far enough? Like if you have a nicer car and if I tuck it behind your license plate and you never go around the back of the car.
That's true too.
Are you're just not far enough away from it?
I don't know the range. Listen, so one accidental experiment, let's say, that I do get when I know that Missy and I are not in the office and nobody is in the office, save for if our downstairs neighbor may come in or our back room neighbors may come in, but they barely do. So all the things that I have tagged are sitting. You've seen the size of our studio, Chilla. I mean, it's I don't know, a good 30 feet, maybe 20 feet, I guess. So I'm still getting, and I'll check in when I'm in like Chicago, you know, make sure everything's cool, and I'll still see things getting updated like 20 minutes, an hour ago. And in my mind, what's happening is as people walk by on the street with iPhones, they're pinging this, and you're getting an update, right? So the length of a car, though.
On yours, you're not. How often? But you're getting an update on your own tag. How often are you? Because for someone else to get alerted to that tag, it would have to be put in lost mode, wouldn't it?
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
These people aren't going to put their.
Good.
Like right now, if I look, I mean, there's.
No, I think you're confusing two different states of. I think you're confusing two different states of the the AirTag. So you're worried about the person in the car getting notified that there's one near them that's been traveling with them, correct?
Right.
So that is different.
It's not their AirTag.
That is I'm saying they will in the car. They will be pinging that tag. Their iPhone will know that tag is there. But also the question is, at what point do they notify them? I think they did shorten that window after they were released because of concerns with the domestic issues. But you know, but again, if you're just like, hey, I'm at a shopping center, this car is the one I want to follow. You follow them home like, you know, half an hour, right, and then go jack the car out of their driveway. You know, I mean, that's short enough time. They're not going to get a notification. I think that falls under that kind of window. What I'm talking about is you get the update when you look at it on the phone, not necessarily lost phone or anything. It's just like I look it up and see, okay, this has been updated half an hour ago. This has been updated an hour ago. You know, not an active ping that notifies me or anything like that. But then I get things like, you know,
right, but that's your tag.
Yes, right. Right. So because I think you were concerned on whether.
So what I'm saying is take your tag and go duct tape it to the bottom of a car.
Right.
And walk away. Mm-hmm. The person that gets in that car is never going to know there's an AirTag on that car.
No, their phone will be picking it up. The phone will know. The phone will know it's there.
But they don't know their phone.
But they don't know it.
The phone will
That's
know,
what I'm saying. Because I thought we were getting to a thing where it's
so in 15.2.
Yeah.
In 15.2, which release candidate today, so that means we're probably within a week away. Mm-hmm. In 15.2, you're going to be able to scan for nearby tags.
Okay. Like actively, will you be able to find them locationally?
As like a safety. From the way they made it sound.
Because now I'm concerned if somebody can now see, hey, there's a bunch of AirTags over here, and they see like 5 AirTags in the back of my car when I'm traveling all my equipment to a gig, that sounds like a big alarm. Like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff that's important enough to have AirTags. You know? So I like that concerns me the other way now. Because I got AirTags and everything in here that we travel with. But I don't know. We'll see how that develops. And when we get to 15 dot, is it 15 or 15.2 or 02?
Yeah, 15.2.
Okay, when that comes out, we're gonna have to do a test run on these. I got plenty around here for you to come over and test with, Chilla. So, anyways,
what would be interesting is to see how many you can see go by the studio.
Oh, that'd be fun. Here goes another one. So, I have the issue. This started happening within the last week. Every time I leave my house or the studio, there's a studio, there's a bunch here, so I'm walking away from a bunch of them. We're at the house. I usually leave my backpack now because we just picked up that Mac Mini. I don't need my laptop all the time. So every time I leave, I get a "you left something behind." So I don't know if it's just like,
with my
hey,
iPad all the time.
You're always around. Even my phone. Like I'll leave my phone on my desk. And I'm like, I'm cool. I'm just gonna go pick up the pizza down the street, and I'll get you left your phone here, kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, or if I forgot something up here after the podcast, and run out.
You can set don't notify me if this device is left in this location. I ended up doing it with my iPad at my house because I don't take my iPad everywhere I go.
But I know most times it's not important, but let's say I embark on a trip to South Carolina on Thursday, and I do see that, take a quick peek at it and say, oh, here's the headsets you should have had. And you're like, well, okay, turn right around, like I feel like the benefit of it being there the one time I need it versus the 5 times in a week I don't way outweighs the annoyance. So I'm just like, oh yeah, okay.
No. I just have it set where I mean, I can always find them. It just won't give me the hey.
But I want the reminder that I left
your device behind.
But to hack myself that always forgets things and important things. I want to have that reminder when I need that reminder to remind me, right? Mm-hmm. Like I get annoyed a little bit that my Wise camera picks up every time I walk by it in the office. I get a little ping on my watch, but I'll never remember to turn it on and off for the odd times when we're not in here for a day. I want to know if something pops up. That has been very careful, especially when Dudders is sneaking in to put things on my desk. So, anyways, so we let's give a shout out to our friends now, and over at Slice on Broadway, right up the street, right where I go to, and I leave my phone behind, and I get that ping on my watch that I left my phone behind. That'll be handy. One of these days, that's actually really going to help me. Like, I'm going to leave it in a hotel or something for the day when I'm going out for a shoot, and it'll be like, oh no, that is important. We need that, so we can find our way back to the hotel, to be quite honest. But anyways, New York City style yinzer made. Support Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza here in Beachview, Carnegie, the East End, and the North Hills. You can get it wherever you are in the city, wherever Grubhub will deliver to within the greater Pittsburgh region. And I know a lot of our listeners are from the Pittsburgh area, so give them a shout out. Go in, say hi over at Slice on Broadway. There's a meeting happening. There's a community meeting happening right now at Slice on Broadway. There you go. It's a place to congregate. I think all the locations are congregatable. I think they all have dining room areas. I have not seen the North Hills one. I don't think I've seen the inside of the East End, but I'm pretty sure it's got tables in there from what I've seen going by. I need the Riz and maybe Dave Potter to let me know about that, because I think they're the ones that I've seen in that location more than I have. So thank you to them, and it's cool to see them grow over the years along with us here on the show. So. Let's touch on some video games. One I'm very excited, Halo Infinite. I have such a busy day tomorrow, but I'm trying to find an hour to sit down with a campaign of Halo Infinite. So I have a little bit before I get on the road for the week. But we do have a few other things coming in too. First of all, I wanted to mention this one. This is a shout to my brother, and we're going to get to my brother in a minute here too, because he's one of the few people, he's the only person I know that has one. He had an original Xbox and I didn't, but he has all 3 of the original Xbox games that Burger King was selling. I think it wasn't, they were like $5 games when you get a Whopper or something like that. So he has all 3 of those, and I love that this came around because somebody has, according to Kotaku, and I love there's also the connection here, a wrestling man is the descriptive term, collects 2,706 copies of Burger King video game. And by the way, I don't know this guy. He's not a friend of the Wrestling Mayhem Show. The guy's name is Leroy the Human Tackboard Patterson. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be Big Game Leroy that we know from New York, Katie. But unfortunately, that was not the case. I know, right? There, look at those. Look at all those copies of Sneak King. Which is literally a game where you're outside, you're the king, and you're sneaking around trying not to be noticed by, I don't know, workers on a construction site, I think was one of the levels, if I recall. It's been a while. They're really weird games. I recommend kind of looking them up. And they got a little bit of video. I did not get into this too deeply, but this is a video that's going to have to go on my watch list about how did we get this many copies of Sneak King. And there they are driving around with their Burger King hats on, picking up their copies. So that's fantastic. But that's one of the wildest collections that I've seen. And speaking of Matt, I mentioned last week about Soul Calibur 2 for some reason, and how it had, like, I wanted the version from the original Xbox that had Spawn, because we have the ones for the GameCube with Link from Legend of Zelda. And he let me know that they actually did release a Soul Calibur 2 HD for the Xbox 360, and good news, it includes both Spawn from the Xbox edition as well as Hayachi from the PlayStation edition. So you get both versions there. So yeah, I grabbed it. It was $20. It's actually cheaper to get Soul Calibur 6 right now for like 16, I think it is. But no, that's a nice little throwback. It's HD. It looks a little bit better than it does on my GameCube, that's for sure. And it does, and it's backward compatible, so it does play on your Xbox One. So if you're missing a little bit, interestingly, they have Soul Calibur 1 and 2, 6, and nothing in between is compatible. So my Soul Calibur 4 with Yoda on it is not compatible with the Xbox One yet, which is very, 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 very distressing. And then hot tip for that one: if you do have a copy of Soul Calibur 4 for the Xbox, you can purchase the Darth Vader from the PlayStation edition, and I believe vice versa. You can buy Yoda on the PlayStation edition. So that's something I'm going to have to do next time I boot up my Xbox 360, apparently. So yes, so we can have the big Soul Calibur Yoda versus Darth Vader. Could you even do that in the old? Remember there was that Masters of Terra's Kai, like original PlayStation game that was like a Star Wars fighting game. There was like some characters and stuff I think were like exclusive to that or something, right? Katie, you're the Star Wars person. Do you remember that? No?
Yeah, I'm not a good Xbox person, though.
No. Well, that was a PlayStation.
No.
That was like the original PlayStation had this game.
Or PlayStation?
Yes. So.
No.
Yeah, I need to get a copy.
I remember. I don't remember playing. I don't remember playing that, but I remember playing Jedi Power Battles. And I actually had it. I had it for the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Nothing beats Pod Racer. Pod Racer for the N64. My brother had the N64 special edition special Pod Racer edition, which N64 wasn't different. It just had a cool box and it came with Pod Racer. So I think they did. I think there's a remake they did. They did each HD remake of that for, I think, 360 or something too. You can grab. You almost got that the other day.
It's out for it's out for Switch too.
Switch? That makes sense. 25 years later, Quake gets a Horde mode. The original Quake, they had a remastered edition that came out via Game Pass and on multiple platforms. I think even the Nintendo Switch has it, guys. Yeah, they installed that one. You got more levels, and they include this. I played a little bit of this Horde mode. You're basically dropped into a level, pretty contained level, and it's just you can up to 4 people, like hop in there with you, and you're just fighting off bad guys until you guys are gone or stuff, or that you get through all the waves. It's fun. It's something a little different because it was nice to go back through the old levels, but also I remember how maddening some of those old levels were too, and I was like, I need something new. And they also added new map packs to it too. And it was somebody who worked on this map pack in like 2014 or 15 or something. They added that in, added this new Horde mode in that they were working on, and also if you're curious, if you're somebody who had an N64 and had Quake 64, they do have a Quake 64 edition that has all the original music to it. Kind of like how Doom 64 was like completely different than all the other Doom games, like graphically and music-wise and everything like that, which you can also pick up on the Xbox and on Game Pass. But definitely worthwhile there. So let's see what else we got here. Dudders, give me some more Star Wars news over here. I see you got something cool over there. Down on 12.
I was looking on. There was a gift guide for 10 great cameras for whenever smartphone lenses aren't enough, and they had Polaroid. And I clicked on the Polaroid site, and they have a Polaroid Now I-type instant camera, the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
It is inspired by Beskar steel. It's a lovely silver color, and you can. It's a Polaroid. They kind of do like a mini Polaroid now. They're like not the full size ones. The I-type are a little bit smaller. And you can't buy it individually now. Oh, wait. So first of all, Polaroids are really fancy now. They have like an autofocus 2-lens system, built-in double exposure, self-timer, rechargeable battery, accurate flash, like all this cool stuff now. But they did have, you can't buy it by itself now, at least through the Polaroid website, but through the bundle, you can get this really cute, the pictures that print out have like a little Mandalorian helmet at the bottom, or maybe a baby Yoda, but they're also like from Mandalorian kind of frames around on the bottom. You know how like they have that little bit of space at the bottom. It might be a baby Yoda. The frame around it's black. It's pretty cool, but you can't get it individually now through the website. But with the starter set, which is on sale for 20% off, you can get it with that plus that fancy camera.
I think we were talking
it's actually
about
pretty fun.
I think we were talking about these early on. Like, oh yeah, and there's your little Grogu in the bottom of your Polaroid picture. I love that. I think you're the one that had like the mini one too. I still have your mini Polaroids from the old studio in the basement that still kind of hang around a little bit. So I have those aside. But that's awesome. That's great. So nice Mandalorian Polaroid.
I kind of like them.
Mm-hmm. Going for $111.99 over at Polaroid's website if you want to check that out. Of course, it's going to be specialized, it's branded. So, you know, too bad you were going around Disney with that thing taking your pictures, right?
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a variety of cameras at Disney, and some I was impressed that people were carrying them around that whole day because of the sheer weight.
Who put in here real life Rocket League? And how is this not a Mr. Beast video?
Me.
What's going on with real life Rocket League?
So it's not real life Rocket League.
Oh.
Well, it's real life. It's just scaled down.
Okay.
Level and Das Race Goal. I'm guessing it's a German company who obviously working with BMW.
Mm-hmm.
They are creating a Rocket League style esport platform for remote control cars, and it's for charity.
Which is on brand.
You'll be able to go over to
Rocket League's supposed to be remote cars, right? Like that's why they have those little antennas on them.
Oh, now that you say that, I never thought about it.
Yeah. Like the whole idea is that it's an RC car.
Well, so it will be. So then it will be real life Rocket League.
So it actually is 1-to-1.
Yeah. So I'm actually interested in this. It will take place on December 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be streamed live on Twitch. I'm interested to see how this, if it catches, or if their Das Race Goals website, I don't know what's up with it. The Twitch channel's there, so you can see that there's like a countdown timer. I'm interested to see. I would probably watch this. I have been known to turn on and I don't know, TBS used to do esports late on Friday nights. I've also really, really enjoyed drone racing. If you ever watched that on TV. So I would find myself watching this if they continue to do it.
It's wild.
I'm also interested to see how it works, right?
No, I'd love to see that. So what was the day that they're broadcasting again?
December 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
And it's on Twitch, right? So you got your phone with you. You could probably watch it.
I'm subscribed to the channel,
Yep.
so if I get a notification when that pops up, to at least check out a little bit of it and see how it looks. So, and they got a lot of stuff here. If you look at the channel now, they got a lot of League of Legends, it looks like. And they have some other content, so it might be one that's worth kind of poking into too. So go check that out. Let's see what else we got here. What time is it? Is it there? We can fit one more in here. Oh no. Is there one you guys want to touch on before we get out of here? What's the last one for the year? What's our last story for the year before we get into our special stuff next week?
I feel like I took 2 on the intro, so
that is true too. What about you, Dudders? What's sticking out here?
What is okay? Wait, where'd it go? The Lego yinzers. What's that all about? The rubricable.
Oh yeah, that's one Podner shared.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's the
cool.
Pittsburgh skyline in Legos. Look at that.
I saw this
so cool.
on I don't know what she even goes by now. Pit Girl.
Mm-hmm. Ginny.
Virginia.
Yep.
This was on her blog.
Makes sense. That's a very Ginny thing to be posting.
But it's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems very pricey.
Well, I don't think I don't think it's a manufactured set, and I think it's like somebody made it, right? Like I think that's the idea of this.
Yeah, you have to buy the parts.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy the parts, and when you look.
Well, actually, so here is here's a PDF. Hold on, let me see if I can load a PDF. I've not done that on this computer. So scroll down into the tab section and go to buy parts. There you go. So it's got the instructions here. So Rebrickables, I think just a general upload your instruction set. And so does it like have you buy? Do they have ready to go sets of these? For
no. You have to go to like the wholesale brick sites. Well, don't scroll too far. There's a tab underneath the
buy
thumbnails.
parts.
There's a tab buy parts.
Okay.
And it will find all of the parts from various websites, but you can see like the BBB brick store is only going to get you 85% of the parts, and you're going to be spending $450.
Oh no! Well, because you're kind of piecemealing the Legos instead of getting them in giant things, right? Plus, Legos are kind of just generally getting expensive, aren't they? So, oh wow, yeah, 80%.
Yeah, the weird thing though is, and it must be the rarity or, the ability to find some of the loose pieces that are used in this brickable set, because I've also heard where you can go to these sites and say like, build me the $1,000 Millennium Falcon, and you can get it parted out for like $600.
Versus what is it usually?
Like 1,000.
Oh geez, so you actually do save money on this. So, but they're not
in some cases you can save money. I'm guessing there's pieces in this set, like when you look at Fifth Avenue Place, and when you look at this especially the steel building, I'm guessing what the pieces that they're using for that are rare and expensive.
Something that was included in it was in these few sets to make these specific things or something like that. Listen, we are not experts in the Lego brick subculture for sure. So, Katie, I wanted to touch on one before we get going here. One, I thought it was really interesting that there was a video that Podner shared from a doctor, and I won't pull too much of it up yet and get too deep into it because I actually have a second note on here. But it was an interesting thing. I don't know if this caught my interest. I think probably because I was also thinking about the business of Mr. Beast this week. But he's a doctor in training, RN. He's not at full doctor status basically, right? He's in his residency and everything, right? So he started doing these shorts and TikToks and things, YouTube TikTok, and he's making money. And from the looks of it, he's making like $2,000-$3,000 a month and things like that, right? If not a little bit more. And so he compared does he make more than a doctor on between TikTok and YouTube? And it's really interesting. And he says now, yes, when he becomes a full-fledged doctor, absolutely not. But it was kind of an interesting 10-minute comparison to look at that, and he really gets into the weeds on a little bit of that too. But I also wanted to point out, Katie, because we had a conversation a little bit ago, I think on one of our road shows, about you said you were learning a lot from TikTok, and I have now gotten that bug as well.
Yes.
So it's getting pretty bad. So it doesn't happen often, but when I do, I find myself on TikTok for like 10 or 20 minutes. And again, you're learning things. I got like a psychologist that's on there that I'm following, several doctors, because we know what's going on in the world. And I'm in this interesting spot because it's like, if it's a history thing or it's a technical thing, like there's a lot of life hacks I kind of get. But but then I also find myself like, why am I trusting this doctor over like ones on TV, kind of thing. Like I'm in that, like, some of the stuff, yeah, I'll go with that. That's a life hack that makes sense. But like when I get to some of the others, I don't know why I find myself trusting the TikTok person more than the one that's in the evening 24-hour news program. And I don't know. This is a conversation I think for an extended, more than what we have time here for this episode. But I wanted to put it out in the world, maybe just so we can have a conversation later about it. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that in your experience on TikTok? I know you have longer experience, and you too, Chilla, I think, do too.
As far as like who to trust and who to not trust,
yeah,
what makes me want to trust them,
and as an educational tool of some sort.
Sorry, go ahead,
Katie.
No, it's not. Pause.
Oh, sorry. we're all missing.
I hope this is the only episode tonight that's going to have this pause. This is going to be horrible.
So I will say I actually really enjoy it, and the biggest thing I have noticed is never follow what you really like, only like what you like. The more you follow it, the harder it'll be to find, or it's like something's off a little bit with the algorithm.
It's that for you versus
some of the cool
following that we talked about before.
Yep. Yeah, but then the followers never show up in your for you, and I don't know. Just like stuff. I feel bad saying don't follow people. Follow them, but you're going to be toggling back and forth, and it seems like once you follow something, whatever that topic is sometimes falls out of the algorithm. But I've used it a lot. Like there's been some tips and tricks on Microsoft Outlook. There's been some tips and tricks on like cool computer setups. I've actually learned a lot, and even some woodworking type stuff. I don't know. And it's all stuff, like the 1 minute how to do something cool in Excel,
Yeah.
Spend a minute, go try it, and if it didn't work, sorry.
Yeah.
There's definitely some gimmicky ones, but the special effects are super cool. Like of how they made their iPhone holographic display. Like they'll be like, go into settings and go into accessibilities and click here. Obviously that's not going to work, but the special effects were pretty darn cool just even watching it. So I don't know. I have learned a lot of cool little time-saving tips, tricks, tweaks for Windows to speed things up. I don't know. I found it beneficial.
I like it.
No, I'm not doing open heart surgery. Like I'm not learning how to do open heart surgery.
I'm just happy that my Twitter feed or my TikTok feed is less like way too young girls like dressing sexy and dancing anymore. Because I'm like, okay, cool. The awkward phase, my weird awkward phase of TikTok has passed, and now it's like, okay, cool. But I also need to watch that I'm not getting into the fringe stuff too. We know what we're talking about, because it's even like in both directions, right? Like I don't want to go too far one way or another with some of these things that are popping up, and it's just like some of it turns into some woke porn sometimes. But anyways, but I'm sorry, but Katie, what's your take on? Because I don't think we had you actually even answer because of the delays here. Your take on the educational side of this? Interesting.
I think. It sounds awful, but like I feel like if you can sum it up in a minute, I'm going to pay more attention to you, which is absolutely positively terrible in a hard way to determine who gets credibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I don't. I don't. There's nothing like specific that I'm like, okay, this person is believable versus like this person, and fact checking, and I take everything with a grain of salt on TikTok, especially in certain fields, and I don't know. And I have found that if you like are not interested, if you hold down the screen and you hit click that not interested, you'll stop getting a certain type of video.
Good.
So keep that in the back of your mind too. Like if you start getting a couple things that you're like, this just doesn't kind of align with what I'm using.
I didn't even know that was a
platform
thing. I just did it for the first time.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah. Just like TikTok.
You can just click not interested, and that'll kind of get you out of there. Because I mean, even after how many hours I've spent on TikTok, it starts kind of moving me on the For You page to some more popular things, and it's like, no, that's not what I'm into or why I'm using this platform.
Although a girlfriend that was in a VR bar fight and got wrecked, that one's a funny one. So I think I'm going to keep that one on. Oh, she ran into a wall. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yep.
Well, I think that's enough for this week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, of course, John Chichilla at Chilla on the Twitters.
John Chichilla on the Facebooks. Now I'm like scrolling through Twitter, wondering. That's the bad thing. Like I can fall into a Twitter hole or a
TikTok hole. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. No,
I can fall into a TikTok hole,
pretty bad.
and it's like 2 hours goes by, and you're like, "What had just happened?"
Yeah, I've been making some more stuff for TikTok too, and just like I'm starting to get into the. I found voiceovers. and Rocket Raccoon asking questions, and it's now my thing. I did one of them last night, but I feel like that's a thing I'm going to apply a bit more now. I'm stepping into it. I'm behind the curve here, so we'll get to it. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get into Twitter Spaces, but anyways, Dudders, you got a lot. Well, you got a lot of stuff this week. It's content. You got a lot happening, and you've been talking about it on your platforms as well.
Yep, Kate Marie PGH on Instagram, and I think just Katie Dudders on Facebook, and tossing a few things on Twitter. Kate Utters on Twitter. I haven't been as active over there, but I keep forgetting that I have friends that just use Twitter, and I have to put those updates out there too. Right.
Yeah, that is difficult. But it's like what we're doing with this show, right? Where we're like, hey, we got to make sure this goes in other places because not everybody's using Facebook. I'm getting more and more people that are on Messenger that they're like, oh, but I'm not on Facebook, but they're on Messenger at least, right? To because you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. I thought it was required, but yeah, it's okay. This girl keeps dancing over on here. I'm not logged in, so I'm getting all the regular TikTok-y stuff. So I'm at Sorgatron on the Twitter. A lot of things going on. You can see on Twitter and on a lot of the other platforms. I'm hanging out with Santa. Santa was here, guys. Santa was here. He was here. He was also at the wrestling show. Was at that afternoon. I'm starting to get suspicious that second Santa was not the real Santa, but definitely the one that here was. Because I asked him some very poignant questions, including some of them that some of you asked me to ask him on Twitter the week before. So go check that out, and that's up for the Elves on the Run, elvesontheRun.com. Chilla, you might want to check that out and see about doing that with your kids here in a couple of weeks here. The elves are lost. One of them, we know one of them is here with the studio. He's actually been our de facto intern for a little bit. If you walk by the studio window, you'll be able to see him. His name is Raul, just like Raul Julia. So check that out at elvesontheRun.com and that video over on the Sorgatron Media Facebook page, and the post video we did there, and also my adventures, because I went and I not only did I interview Santa on Saturday, I attended 2 pro wrestling shows in one day. I think that's a new one. I don't think I've attended 2 pro wrestling shows as a fan before in a single day. And one of them included midgets wrestling in back home with my sister. So a lot of fun there, and a lot of cool stuff, and a lot of travel is going to be coming up. So stay tuned to the social media. I'm sure there will be some shenanigans around the traveling MMA and pro wrestling world that I'll be getting into over the weekend. So always some interesting characters around all those things. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Next week will be the last live show of the year. But, of course, we will have stuff already in the can for the holiday break. So you can still tune in and join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday for the rest of 2021 in some fashion. And if you are on Patreon, you may have already seen those because we did go live when we recorded them at some various times. And if you're on Patreon and a contributor, you can, and listening to us right now, you can go back and watch the original untouched recordings that we did before we do a little bit of editing and put them out for final. So go check that out, patreon.com/awesomecast. Thanks. You have been our awesome audience. Please have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.